Welcome back to Comics, the podcast where me and my mom look through our comic book collection 2 issues at a time, and we have a spooky Halloween-themed comic to start off from DC. This is The Unexpected. Have you the nerve to face it? Johnny Peril is in the Factory of Fear.
Ooh.
Everybody's favorite character, Johnny Peril.
Ooh, zombies.
I get what they're going for with Johnny Peril. It'd be like Tom Danger. But being in peril is less like it's like you're being acted upon. So it's more like
True.
he's in trouble. It's like Bill Trouble.
Or Howard Simpson, or not Howard Simpson.
Howard Simpson, classic character.
Homer when he's Max Power.
Yeah, exactly. When he gets hired by that supervillain.
Mm-hmm.
So we start off with, I think this is Abel.
Yes.
And he recently made a appearance with his brother Kane in the Sandman Netflix series.
Yeah.
I got around to watching that. It was good. He makes them kill their poor dragon, right? So,
Yes.
so this is a weird opening scene. He's saying it's way too dusty in the House of Secrets. Speaking of which,
I make those kinds of brooms.
I was looking at you do. Maybe you could do some cross promotion, sell some of them online. I was looking at what to call this because I could have swore like isn't it like Tales of the Unexpected or something, but just The Unexpected, and this is from 1981. And if I'm not mistaken, the little wiki I read said something along the lines that this was during an publishing implosion on DC's part, where I think they had collapsed like 3 or 4 other supernatural titles into one book as an anthology thing because they were not selling as much, and so they couldn't afford to have the different month-to-month series or something. So, because I think we saw Abel episodes and episodes ago. It's been a while.
And remember, they were in the Blue Devil episode that we talked about too.
That's right. They bring him back. Yeah, I always think of him in this 80s version, but I think that Blue Devil comic was a little late. I don't know if it was quite the 90s, but it was.
Yeah,
it was definitely after this. But anyway, he's gonna sweep up, I guess, but gets pulled up by this witch's broomstick. Yeah, sometimes the expressions on these really line up with the word bubble, and some of them I'm like, he's stuttering. It says, "Oh, dear, the old House of Secrets is getting a trifle bit dustier than I like. You'll pardon me. It's kind of hard to do. While I tidy up a bit, well, won't you? A few swipes with my broom should do. It's exhausting."
Yes.
When I was reading that and sounding it out, like I couldn't help but audiate the sound in my head, and I'm like, this guy's. Why is he grinning so intensely at me? He can't even speak with confidence. And these other characters, which I think must be from like the other Supernatural series, or maybe they're just from this ongoing anthology. Hang on, short, cute, and chubby. We'll save you. There's a lot of like fat shaming humor in this comic.
Yeah,
it's really weird.
He gets a lot of fat shaming.
Yeah, graveyard breath. We'll take the time to bring you back down to earth, even though it's the witching hour. You come back down here, you fat excuse for a caretaker. Jeez. I told you, it'll take more than my flying broomstick to raise you to new heights.
And look at her.
Right, who's she to talk?
Well, it's like those are like the
different versions
of witch.
So like the old haggard witch or the bewitched sort of.
Or the Shakespearean witch.
A cult member or something. Fat-shaming cult member. But that's about all we get from this little action sequence. I don't know what it has to do with Johnny Peril. I don't really know why he's stuttering, and I don't know.
I believe he always stutters.
Oh, okay. Is he just? Is it like a nervous?
I think he's
dealing with horror, so he's always on edge.
Like Abbott and Costello, he's the Abbott, and Costello is the straight guy who kills him when he's being too silly or too.
Oh, gotcha.
So, because remember in that one, or I believe it was in one comic, that they had his headstone, he's like, "Oh, don't kill me again," or
Did
whatever.
they stutter on his headstone too?
This is Abel. Abel.
Rip. Johnny Peril. So if you're not familiar with
I'm
Johnny
not.
Peril, no one is. They tell us his whole backstory here. Newsman, scientist, adventurer, soldier of fortune, whose adventures range from the steaming equatorial jungles of Africa and the headwaters of the mighty Amazon to the frozen grandeur of the Himalayas. From the forbidden temples of the old Samarkand to the cratered mysteries on the dark side of the moon. Yes, on this and many other worlds, the unexpected is synonymous with the name Johnny Peril.
Oh, synonymous.
So he's a newsman, he's a scientist, he's an
my.
adventurer and a soldier of fortune. So he's like a mercenary. What if like Anderson Cooper just became a mercenary, or
We find
Bill
out
Nye or something?
he's
a
been doing
scientist,
experiments
journalist,
and yeah,
entertainer, presenter, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
that's
I
disturbing.
do some mercenary work, some black ops here and there, wet work mostly.
Bill Nye, Black Ops guy.
Yeah, what kind of science does he even do? Just all science. So he just got off a bus in Wyatt Junction, and they let us know that in recent adventures, he's both fought this killer robot, which is Dr.
Jeez.
Simon Haskell, is this robot, and Dan Blodgett, gang boss Dan
That guy's
Blodgett.
intense.
What do they have in common? They both had these supernatural star necklaces that give them abnormal powers.
I was going to guess jowls.
That too. Well, there will be more fat shaming later on in this issue. Don't worry about that.
Speaking of jowls, ooh.
Wyatt Junction, huh? This place looks more like Wyatt parking lot. The whole town is hardly bigger than a rest stop. International Industries.
Oh my.
Except for that factory, the thing's uglier than my landlord. Serves me right for trying to save a few bucks by riding the bus. Next time I take the scenic route. Do not turn so quickly from the factory, Mr. Peril. After all, it is not every day that a man is permitted to view his grave.
Ooh, this guy's got
Factory
a
of
lot
Fear.
of stars.
Well, it's no coincidence. He's the Star Master.
Okay.
He looks like Ed Asner or something. Like he's got the bushy eyebrows.
Oh, he's
kind of
got a
short-
belly too.
Yeah, there's a lot of, more substantial people in this issue. Maybe the writer himself is a chubbier fellow, and he's like, I'm going to I'm going to show everybody I have a sense of humor about my image. He has come to Wyatt Junction because he got this message. Johnny, come Wyatt Junction immediately. Trish Markham. So Trish was on an earlier adventure when he encountered the robot doctor and gang boss Jowls here. He's like, I realized there's some sort of conspiracy going on, and Trish may have found another link. They have these star charms that give them mysterious powers. When all of a sudden he's jumped by these little green ghoul men. I guess they're I don't know. Look at that, and then look at this. They look a little more serious on the cover.
Yeah, a lot.
They're like
more
zombies or ghouls or something, and then you open and it's this guy. He's kind of monkeyish or something.
He's very monkeyish.
He's not very threatening, but they start whooping his butt. Ow, you guys pack quite a punch, but I'm no lightweight myself. Holy Moses, that face! It almost looks like something like an R. Crumb.
It kind of does,
illustrate,
yeah.
like a kind of
If only it
purposely
had
comical.
big thighs.
Yeah. And that smell, like rotting flesh. These guys are alive, but they look dead. What's going on? He gets whopped. He's not very threatening looking either.
Not at all.
Rail-thin arms raised to deliver another surprisingly powerful blow. But then, get away from him, you slugs, now. He's rescued. So, this is one of the Wyatts that the town is named after. My name's Bobby Wyatt, but we can talk later. Come on. For several minutes, the girl leads Johnny on a twisting trail through the small town until, we're almost home. My great-granddad built that house the same year he founded this town. We'll be safe there. Then I can tend to you. Soon after introductions, I got back from college last month, Johnny, to try to help the folks in this town, only to find the factory going full steam. What sort of factory? No one seems to know.
It's a zombie factory.
Yeah. Well, it's a fear factory.
Oh,
The
that's
folks
right.
who work for it disappear. Everyone's afraid to say anything against it because it's the only industry this town's ever had. Everyone but me. I'm trying to find the truth, and maybe I can help you find your friend. Are you with me, Johnny? Like a hand in a glove, Bobby. It's a weird thing to say.
We had these when I was a kid.
Sea monkeys, were they cool?
No.
Do they move?
Yeah, they're basically little shrimp. Little tiny little things.
Shrimp with an
Shrimp.
A.
I thought they'd have little faces and stuff.
The thing I like the most about this is they're like, there's a factory that employs most of the people in town. No one knows what they actually make there, and people go missing from time to time.
But nobody says
Like-
anything.
Well, you have to go to college to finally realize, hey, you guys didn't have a factory in your town that just like ate up people at random, and no one was really sure what they produced there? I thought that was just every town.
Oh, gosh.
So he goes to spy on Industries or whatever generic name they gave it, and he sees this red truck pull up. That loading dock may be just the ticket. When the workers break for lunch, maybe I could sneak in. Huh? The same truck is returning. Maybe he forgot something. No, they're unloading the boxes they just loaded on that truck. They're going to a
What?
lot of trouble to give the illusion of producing something. This panel is like, I've had jobs like that.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
you're not really sure why you're doing anything that you're doing, and it's very repetitive, and you're hoping there's some thought behind it, some grand plan
Somebody
that you're
has
not
an idea.
Yeah, but you kind of suspect that maybe not.
This guy's shocked.
Yeah.
This guy beyond.
Those strange workers again. I like how he calls them workers.
Yeah.
I guess they have the same like coverall thing that the other guys have. Do they only employ redheads here?
I know.
Redhead Industries.
When she's
Ginger
putting on a
Enterprises.
red hat, or an orange.
Yeah, that she's putting on your grandma's wig to go to the store. So, with the strength fired by terror, Johnny pulls away and, gotta get out of here before more of them come. A frantic, twisting sprint, and Johnny returns to the White House. Something wrong with that factory, Bobby. They knew I was hiding in that truck. I can't get into the factory. It's a weird thing to say
Whoa.
factory twice like that. It seemed unnatural to me.
What rhymes with factory?
There's something wrong with that factory. I can't get into the factory. You could just say into it.
Yeah.
Maybe I can. We already specified what noun we were talking about. Industry. So what they do is they have a food truck. It says that evening a concession truck filled with sandwiches and snacks for the night shift pulls up to the guardhouse and is waved through. And he takes these out of his sole of his shoe. He takes these illuminated stars.
that
That
he's
can't be
gotten.
comfortable to be walking around on all
No.
day.
And it looks like they've got power or something.
You think his foot would be glowing.
Yeah.
So Bobby signals him. Bobby's signal. We must be inside the factory now, which means it's time I got out of the concession business. Literally.
Oh.
The star gems glowing. So I guess they've started to glow now. We
Okay.
learned. So they don't just constantly glow. They're reacting to something. I'm on the right track. These star gems killed Dr. Haskell and almost killed Dan Blodgett. They seem to drain life from living things. Maybe that could explain the appearance of the guys who attacked me. Johnny, help! Bobby, they've caught her. So these little gremlin men are going to dip her into this vat of pink,
Jeez,
steaming goo. Those guys smell like they've been out in the sun too long. The factory's full of them, Johnny. Can we get away? Putting space between them and us is the name of the game, Bobby. This conveyor belt will give us the edge. There's our wheels, Bobby, unguarded. If we can make it down. Bobby, look out! The young lady is in danger, Mr. Peril. He's always blocking his face, you'll notice. But perhaps a bargain may yet be struck. Who?
What?
They're trying to build up tension because they never really show you a good shot of his face. You may call me the master of the 7 stars, Mr. Peril,
Is
and
it-
you have something of mine. Return it or the girl dies.
His belly is busting free.
That's why he's hiding his face. He's like, I'm gonna lose weight. I don't want you to see me completely until
Till I do.
give me a few months, at least. I like the way the pink steam's rising up.
Yeah. It really indicates how thick it is.
I like that tall panel. It's a good use of the vertical panel. Don't do it, Johnny. Don't give him the stars. Fat stuff must be able to sense the presence of the stars.
Oh, no.
I told you. They really call out people's weight to their face. That was how they knew to capture me this morning. But why didn't they know I was in the concession truck? Unless they wanted me to come in, to make sure they could catch me. And how does Bobby know I have the stars? There's only one thing I can do. So yeah, she knows about the stars, even though he hadn't told her. Something's a little fishy here.
Yeah.
Here they are, fat stuff. He says it again. He's like, that's what I'll call them, fat stuff. That'll really get under his skin. All over the place. No, no. The sound of the shattering stars is the gentlest tinkle, but the consequences of the act are loud and awesome. No. Great, I was hoping some sort of power backlash would happen.
Oh.
Ah! But this is more than a shutdown. It's almost like the factory is dying. I am by no means beaten, Peril. He's still covering his face.
Yeah.
I can still... Peril! No idea what other powers Tubby has, and I'd rather not find out. So, sorry, Chubbs, but the time has come for me.
Wow.
I didn't read this, but I always like to stop and read if it's a new one. I don't think we've seen this one. A lot of brown in it, though.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman and the Brown Baron. The chocolate... Oh, that's why. The Chocolate Baron. A crook whose love of chocolatry... Good chocolatey goodness, chocolatry.
I like chocolatry.
Has led him to monopolize everything chocolate he can control. Robot plane, circle the island until I need you. Soon I'll control everything that's chocolatey, and the great taste will be mine, all mine. By Hera, I plan to stop your nefarious enterprise, and your bullets won't stop me. I came prepared. Wonder Woman herself. Get her, boys! She throws down some Hostess
You think
fruit,
he has a southern
cupcakes.
accent?
Yeah, he's a southern chocolate baron. You think it would melt the chocolate being down in the south? Though.
True.
Hostess cupcakes. Oh, so chocolatey. Chocolatey cake. Chocolatey icing. You and your henchmen were easily taken, Baron. Taken with the chocolatey taste of Hostess cupcakes. Your magic lasso compels me to speak the truth.
Oh, gosh.
What'd she do with his henchmen? They were executed. She's like, I'm taking you to
They're riding
jail.
on the
I don't
wings.
have room for two more.
They're tied to the wings.
Yeah. So he dives onto the catering truck, and this is
no,
the Wyatt
Bobby.
girl. Yeah, Wyatt, Bonnie Wyatt, the Wyatt heir. The master said I could live if I trapped you, but you found out. Now I'm dying, but the master will get you. So she was out to double cross him from the beginning. That's why she knew about the stars. I don't know why they threw in the vat though. Like if they were on the same side.
Most town founders kind of
Are evil.
Yeah, I think so.
The old Wyatt place,
It's that
built
Wyatt
on bone
Junction.
and blood. As he floors the accelerator, Johnny Peril looks back only once and immediately regrets it. I wish I could see it. See his comeuppance, I guess. And yes, he's got a terrible haircut. That's why
Yeah,
he's
he
hiding
does.
his face. He's got like the medieval bangs, long sides haircut. But to realize the full horror would be to collapse, and collapse would mean capture, so Johnny Peril merely flees. This is only our first major setback, my drones. The damage to my matchless stars can be easily repaired. However, the damage to my ego can be repaired by only one thing. The death of Johnny Peril. I thought he was going to say Hostess Cupcakes.
I know, why did you?
Kill him and earn my gratitude. Throughout the eternity, we will share.
By the looks of him, I think Hostess Cupcakes is part of his plan, too.
Yeah. Terrific. I thought those were his boots coming down.
Oh, yeah.
Flaps. It's just
It's
some
those
henchmen's
guys.
hats. And they're fine with working with these ghoul monsters. They're like, some of our co-workers of the factories are ghouls.
Yeah.
But, they pay a fair wage. Terrific. Alone in this wilderness, with a superpowered man and his factory workers after me. I've been in tighter spots. I just can't remember when. So I guess he crashed the catering car at some point. Now he's on foot. So now we're in a new story. This is Where Have You Gone, Solid Citizen? So the Commissioner Randall is meeting with the mayor, and the mayor's like, I don't care how you do it, or if you're not gonna do it, you're replaced. But you got to get the crime rate down, because Mason Worth indicted for petty larceny is the headline, and it also says crime in city up 46% over last year.
That's pretty high.
That's a lot, yeah. That's crazy. So, let's see. He's trying to get to the bottom of it, and that's basically, a weird lead-in to what the story actually becomes.
Really?
Abel says, "This is Police Commissioner Murphy Randall, a dedicated and conscientious policeman. So Randall worries, asking where respect for the law has gone, asking whether it is his own fault, asking, 'Where have you gone, solid citizen?'" This is the House of Secrets. Maybe that was one of the titles that got folded into this. So he goes down to the Jazz District.
As you do.
"Don't go back just yet, Berkeley. I'd like to drive around for a while." His driver, his name is Berkeley. "Old Smokey give you a hard time today, Commissioner?" "Old Smokey, as you call him, is to be referred to with respect. He is the city's duly elected mayor." "Yes, sir, I understand. He bought the job fair and square." Randall lets the remark pass, and as the car hums into the area of the city known as the combat zone, "Listen, would you pull over, Berkeley? I think I'd better walk. Or I think better when I walk. Go on back to HQ. I'll be along soon enough." So he stumbles across this sign
I would
at
gladly
the Soul
get rid
Shop,
of that guy. At the Soul
which
Shop?
sounds like a record store or something, but it's
Yeah.
actually, "Have problems? Maybe your soul needs a cleaning. Gracie can sweep your soul clean. Your problems away." So it's some kind of supernatural service.
Yep.
Some kind of gypsy racket, he says,
Jeez.
very tolerantly. "Wouldn't hurt to go in. Maybe something illegal's going on. I'll just check it out. Hope no one is around.
That's down in the jazz section of
It's
town.
jazz and supernatural stuff. It's kind of a catch-all.
Oh boy, he's gonna sell
The
his
All-Star
soul.
Review is there, whatever that is.
Uh-oh.
Bereft, bedeviled, bothered, the hard-nosed policeman walks into the storefront expecting just about anything, except a well-appointed, tastefully decorated living room and a pleasant... Yeah. Hey, at least they decorated better than a Swamp Thing. Bigger on the inside, it has no damn furniture. It's just a white void.
True. A void of a Tesseract.
And a pleasantly innocuous little woman, 2 littles, to greet him. I don't know if that's a mistake or an emphasis. "Hello, I'm Gracie. Would you like a nice cup of tea?" Murphy Randall swallows his surprise, warms to his hostess, and finds himself telling her every problem he can think of.
Oh, goodness.
So she's like, "You know what? You probably just need your soul to be cleaned. It's like brushing your teeth. Your soul is an organ, just like your heart or your brain or your spleen. It needs to be taken care of. Except for the nether creatures and the cosmic forces you have to watch out for. But they just make things more interesting. So it's like brushing your teeth, except for those things."
I like that it's only an exclamation.
He makes like the worried dog sound, like whine.
Oh my god.
But he decides to do it. Who knows what logic or lack of it goes through the mind of a rational man whose confidence is shaken. "Well, at worst, it'll have no effect. Let's do it." She's talking about the nether creatures. Like, at worst, nothing will happen.
Right.
I think it could get worse. "All right, now the spell. The spell was, yes, I know. Pluto's whiskers, morning's fog, turned this man into a... excuse me, wrong spell. I don't think you want to be a frog, do you, Mr. Randall?" "Hey, you're getting that fairy dust in my face." He's like jump behind the couch or something.
Very homophobic.
Oh, I see. They're unfurling her pentagram. It's like a rug.
I see.
Something like that. "Oh, I'm terribly sorry. You know, Mr. Randall, I can tell you have a good soul. Basically."
Jeez.
A little basic, but it's a good soul. It's just kind of basic. "Because you seem to keep yourself so composed. That's what a soul is for, you know, to tell you what's right and wrong, good and bad. I knew a man who misplaced his soul, got a little one to replace it, powered with a flashlight battery. Very cute. Now hold still for this. Gotcha. Hey, where did the lights go? What's that lit up thing?"
Uh-oh. His soul looks like a ghost.
It looks like a really stereotypical ghost, a very cliche ghost. And through the little woman's jabbering and the momentary blackness of the room pours a glowing form. As for the first time in a long time, Murphy Randall feels fear. Gets a little psychedelic.
Uh-oh.
"Give me your hands. Do you feel any different?" "Feel? No, I don't feel anything." That glowing figure was your astral form, your spirit, your morality, your immortal soul. It's in the urn. By the way, you might want to duck down now. And
What?
there tumbles, as if from nowhere, a device of torture from a madman's nightmare swinging over the man's head. Mother of all that's holy, what in the world is... The pendulum. From the pit in the pendulum, you remember?
What?
That was a free-swinging blade. It almost... There's no problem. Everything's under control. Yeah, it seems kind of random to...
Yeah.
They just make a little reference to the... What is that, Edgar Allan Poe?
Yeah.
And then we get these fun-looking creatures and bits of tentacles.
Oh, are they the...
They're nether creatures. It's just that some of my friends get playful once in a while. Friends? Where did those things come from? Oh, the air, the nether regions, the ectoplasm layer. One or two probably followed you in. Shoo, scat, this man has a soul to clean. They all start pumping.
He's like, I don't wanna.
Yeah, he looks scared. He's more scared of them than they are of him. The room clears, the dust settles, and the smiling little necromancer tries to reestablish her atmosphere. Now give me your hands again. All we have to do is darken the room a little bit. Are you going to tell me where all those little animals and... Hush, we have to... Oh, darn. I knew I should have hired an interior decorator this year. I wanted basic black. This is what I mean when I said it seems like sometimes the writer and the artist didn't quite sync up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not really sure. They're just making a little joke about the weird background, but it's not really advancing the plot or the characters or anything. That's what I get for trusting to the cosmic forces for my atmosphere instead of doing it myself. I get leftovers. Absolutely nobody uses psychedelics anymore. Listen, ma'am, maybe I ought to be... Now, Mr. Randall, you must remain in a kneeling position for this to work best. There will be no more interferences. Except for that dive-bombing hawk I forgot about. But he hasn't hurt anyone in a long time. That's another random thing of, like, they just couldn't figure out how to work that image into it. So they're like, everything's okay, except for this dive-bombing hawk you're about to see.
And that looks like your typical, like, Egyptian...
Why is it so small?
Yeah. But you'd see that in hieroglyphs.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, especially that head shape.
Yeah, the head
seems vaguely Egyptian. Hey, there's no reason on earth I should stay here and listen to any more of this drivel. Mr. Randall, oh, you broke the connection. Now we'll have to start all over. So he gets angry and he's going to rush out, especially the last straw is when this guy pokes out. Now, Mr. Randall, see how upset you can get with your soul temporarily disconnected from you? Have a seat, and I promise there won't be any more intrusion. Booga booga. I'm getting out of here. You can't leave well enough alone, can you?
Oh, no.
So he runs away, and she has his soul in this little urn, along with Jason Worth. Worth was the guy, I think I said Mason, the first letter was cut off, but Jason Worth was the guy that was indicted on petty larceny or whatever in the headline. And it was talking about all these notable people in the city.
The mayor.
Yeah, Mayor Michaels, Lisa Kramer, James Locke, Elias Putney, Solid, the type made it look bold, solid citizens all, who won't be back.
Wow.
So they all lost their souls. I guess they all stumbled across Gracie's soul shop.
Yeah, he was on the right
Couldn't wait
track.
for the whole soul cleaning because they got too scared of little guys like that. Yeah, he's not that scary.
None of them were.
And now they're evil.
Oh, boy.
That's why crime is up 46%. So we get another little one-page.
Abel's Fables.
I really like this illustration. It looks like, it reminds me of Sergio Aragonés, but I don't think it is. That does it. That's the fourth chair that's collapsed under you this week. I'm calling a doctor friend of mine who's an expert in weight loss. Here we are, and he said he guarantees to take 50 pounds off you or your money back. Dr. I Bilkia, reducing salon.
Oh, no.
Just step onto the super-duper fat plooper. Und whoosh.
I don't want to be
Away
pooped.
goes the 50 pounds. He goes in, he comes out, and he's all short. He's small now. This isn't exactly what I had in mind, you know. And they laugh at him.
Oh,
He's like, I'm getting paid either way. This is a really goofy little one-pager. The Witching Hour. Oh, look, there's a photographer. I want my picture taken. So these are the three witches from the very first page. Only 25 cents for your charming For you, charming ladies, and the photo will be ready in a minute. Oh, come on, Mildred, you're a big girl now. Maybe she better take it before she gets any bigger. Order a dozen so I can give them to my friends. Sure, if you don't break the camera.
Jeez.
They're so mean to each other. He takes the camera. Let me see. And there's a executioner with an axe about to chop her head off.
Jeez.
In the photo. I don't know what. Yeah, I don't really get it. There's another head hole, so you could do a double-decker beheading, I guess.
Wow.
I think there's another head hole. It's kind of a goofy little. That's the end of it.
Oh.
Let's be mean to our friend.
No, yeah.
Yeah, she stuck her head through this thing. They took a picture of it, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm about to get my head cut off. That's a bummer."
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe am I misreading it?
No, that's just lame.
I guess it didn't meet her expectations. Greetings, ghouls. You're just in time to help Cynthia disinter the grisly corpse of the town that died on the night of the devil bugs.
Jeez.
This one is the most nonsensical. And I know I've been reading a lot of them, more so than I summarized for this one, but just to illustrate the randomness of this one, I might need to read a lot of it.
It's looks
pretty short.
Indiana Jones-ish.
Yeah, it's a weird mashup of genres. All officers, ring the devil bugs with kerosene. Ring them with kerosene and put them to the torch. You and your monster bugs, you're the vilest monster of all. If I am, you forced me into it. So that's our first, they're like cowboys shooting at, or sheriffs or something, and his deputies shooting at these giant bugs. She's blaming Indiana Jones looking guy here, and he's blaming her back. Get the dead and injured clear of the fire. They're in the township of Gladewood. Those are not my devil bugs. It's you who's responsible for them. After they destroy the ghastly creatures, they'll come for you. Yeah. Okay. It started one night 20 years ago, and it's something the survivors of that nightmare would like to forget. I can't believe it. It's a UFO. Sally, quick, come see this. In seconds, the UFO landed somewhere in the Everglades. I tell you, Sally, it looked close enough to touch. You out of your mind, Pete? It's enough to make someone lose his mind. Something is out there. Sergeant Ross Collins was no coward, but hanged if he was a fool either. He said nothing about the UFO, but one day. You say you've been camping in the Everglades, Mr. Hulk, but you didn't see no UFO land long about midnight last Thursday? I sleep soundly, Sergeant. So he's investigating this UFO, and he's not familiar in this small town. He's not really familiar with this Mr. Hulk, and he's also surprised, like, I thought everybody saw that. Or several, if you were in this area,
you had to have seen it. Wouldn't that make you?
Unless they're full of crap.
Wouldn't that make you think right away though? This guy's an alien because he didn't.
I think that's where they're going with it.
Right, but I mean, people don't pick up on it until it's too late.
Any objection to my parking here? Nope, the township of Gladewood always is hospitable to visitors. But one person wanted Gar Hulk out. That's his first name is Gaar. Gar Hulk.
Gar.
You can call me Hulk. I don't have purple pants, but it's Hulk with an O. She was aristocrat and rich Marcia Donner. Why are you so set on making Mr. Hulk move, Mrs. Donner? I own the property he's parked on. Okay. So it's like they're just introducing these characters really quickly. And Gar Hulk. And he's being run out of town by an aristocrat.
Who's a jerk.
Yeah, he's trespassing, even though the law enforcement just said, yeah, you can be there, that's fine. I told him, like you said, ma'am, but Hulk won't move. You want me to arrest him for trespassing? No, that might earn him public sympathy. I have a better idea. So she hires these goons to throw rocks at him and scare him away. Some cruddy dudes.
Wow.
She was a witch if ever I saw one. Dudes. Shriek. What am I saying? I'll be kicked out of my coven. Well, next day, that's our narrator, this girl that keeps popping back. No, I can't identify last night's attackers, Sergeant Collins. Then I can't do nothing, Mr. Hulk. Rotten rubbish. Nobody dare deny Marcia Donner. So she's controlling the law enforcement, I guess.
Okay. Well,
Sergeant Collins here. So Hulk is driven deeper into the Everglades here to clear out of Gladewood. She's behind this, but it won't do her any good. Huh, what's this? Beetles making sounds like they're trying to talk to me? I think it's just they have such limited real estate to tell the story that it gets really compressed and everything seems very sudden and out of nowhere. You are one of the enemy who crush us underfoot. How is it that only you understand us? So he's talking to these bugs. I am not your enemy, nor will I destroy you. A low-flying plane. They're keeping an eye on me. We're afraid of those great flying creatures, the bugs say. They're flown by those enemies who trod on you.
Uh-oh.
For reasons of her own, Marcia Donner wanted Gar even further away. I located him, ma'am. Good. Now I want you to drive him out. Spray the whole area with that special gas I gave you.
Oh, what a jerk.
And so they use this crop duster to spray the gas that makes these bugs super big. And they have teeth. They not only have a mandible, but they've got like these sharp little teeth too. When he finally came out into the misty murk, Gar ogled a sinister sight caused by the foul vapor. Look, we are too big now even to hide. But you look strong. Your horns are like keen, deadly weapons. She thought you and your minute kind would destroy me, but she's wrong. Follow me. The sight of you will frighten the humans, so they'll stay away from you forever.
I get it now.
So he's like the leader. He's become the leader of the
leader.
rebel bugs,
Yeah.
to get revenge on the people that crushed them.
Ooh.
Look at the size of them critters. So much the easier to hit them. Look at that creep who's leading them. Leave him for me. So Gar catches up with his enemy here. You, keep away from me. Did you think I wouldn't catch up with you? Put me down. If I do, I'll tell them how you caused all this. Stop them. My house is afire. Let me go, let me go. You tried to drive me away. See what it got you? My beautiful mansion burning to the ground, you monster. It was midnight when a UFO streaked skyward. Aboard were Gar Hulk and Marcia Donner, his wife, whose name in this world was Zeta. All this trouble because you fled our planet Draj after a foolish quarrel. But you proved how much you care for me, Gar.
What?
Doesn't that seem like such a cop-out random ending? It's like, oh yeah, they were just feuding
aliens.
Husband and wife aliens that wanted to go camping and then had a property dispute, a trespassing dispute, and then made bugs big and wrecked a whole town. The warm sun rose over the ashes and charred hulks. Not hulks with an O, but the hulks with a U of Gladewood next morning. Sizzling Satan, what trouble evil men visit upon themselves. I wonder where Marcia Donner disappeared to. She caused all this. How do you figure that? Even as they viewed the remains of Gladewood, the city that died at the witching hour, they'd never know. Never but never.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
cruddy men.
It was taking a lot of weird turns, that story.
All of them.
Just a few cruddy men.
All of them.
And I bet this one will be much more serious. This one's going to be a real frightener.
This one's got a great cover.
I know. The green on the snake really works well with
this bright
the thing's
yellow,
orange and the yellow.
And his
I'm not
blue
really
pants.
familiar with the mummy, the living mummy, as a character. That'll be interesting to explore.
And I don't know if this was like his introduction. I didn't feel with this comic like I had to go on Wiki and learn about him because they kind of go into his origin. But I don't know of any other comics that he's in offhand.
It's hard to root for a character that has no discernible facial features.
I know. Okay. As a horror creature, is the mummy scary to you?
No, not really. Is it scary to you?
Yes.
Why?
Because I remember coming home from school. My mom was working. We went home, turned on the TV, and there was always out of like Saginaw, right after school, a movie.
Was it Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy?
No. No, this was the mummy. And
I don't know if I've ever seen the actual, just the mummy.
Yeah, it was an old black and white film. I believe it was black and white. And I remember thinking, well, this isn't that scary. He's slow. You know, how can you not get away? But I remember one part of the movie, and there's someone in their home, and I think they're cooking or something, or they're doing putzing around the house, and the mummy is coming, their general direction very slowly. And then you hear outside a little yippy dog just barking, 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 barking. And it cuts between the mummy coming and you're hearing this barking all the time back to the person in the house and the mummy and the person in the house. And the barking continues the whole time. And then you cut to inside the house, but the barking stopped. And it was horrifying. I remember just being horrified at that.
It's pretty subtle.
And that was really scary.
See, I was scared of the mummy, the Brendan Fraser mummy, because the scarabs would go up inside of your skin.
In your skin.
Yeah,
and
I thought that would happen. It
the
was a little less
skeletons.
subtle.
Yeah. I'm afraid of subtlety.
Did that dog stop barking? I'm scared.
But right before he stopped barking, you could hear him yelp.
Oh,
And
well,
then
that
there
makes it a
was
little
something.
more alarming.
But it was still a very subtle, and it was the cutting between scene. You know, it was a lot, and to little me, it was terrifying.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Slow
He doesn't
and-
have to be a
he
fast
proved it.
villain.
Yeah, so that was terrifying to me. So the idea of a
Ben's,
mummy,
brow seems like rounder in this version of him.
his whole thing, he's very round.
That's how you can tell it's going to be a goofy comic, I think.
I think so too. Yeah. So we open up.
He has Alicia has a mask of him. That would be weird if your significant other made a mask of your face.
That's a little telling, huh?
Puppet master. It's her
And,
dad, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, there's Reed.
But he looks like a
You think you'd make him all stretched
Submariner
out.
too.
Yeah, they gave him the Submariner haircut.
And she's working on a full size of Ben, her tools. She's got 3. But anyway,
He's like, I'm already made of rock. Could you make it out of a different material?
we open to Ben shutting the door on the delivery man who delivered a package to Alicia. He's like, hey, what about my tip? Here's your tip. Stay out of Yancey Street, shorty, and you'll never get clobbered.
Jeez.
And she's like, and she just ignores that. And he's like, she's like, Ben, what did the mailman bring? I forgot she was
Are
blind.
you supposed to tip your mailman? I would never do that. Maybe if they had to
know.
carry a really big package.
Well, that's kind of tall. He goes, some kind of nutty box wrapped up tighter in a drum.
Why would you be so sassy with your mailman? You got to see him like every day.
It's Ben. He's sassy to everybody. And an envelope on the outside says this package is to be opened by Alicia Masters only. Maybe
Maybe.
you better
Maybe
let
not.
me handle it, babe. Got me a mighty particular feeling about this.
So how they make statues of people to commemorate them? They make it out of rock, and it's a flesh person. So if they make a memorial to the thing, they should make it out of skin.
Ew. They should flock it. Ew. So anyway, he starts to read
Oh no, she's putting on a weird hat.
as she's opening the package, and it says, Ms. Masters, open the box and become the first in a new race of all-powerful Egyptian gods. Shut that box, Alicia. I mean now.
It's from some chief high muckamuck curator in Egypt. He's such a stereotypical, like, proudly ignorant,
Yes.
blue-collar kind of personality. It's he's like Archie Bunker-esque.
Yes.
Or something. Less intolerant, but just like, I have no time for sophistication.
Exactly. And so he tells her
He looks a
to,
little derpy in this.
oh, he looks derpy a lot in here. His
Sometimes you can see his red tongue, and other times he just has a gaping
a gaping
black
maw.
hole. Yeah.
So he turns and it's too late. She opens it and this power overcomes her and she puts on this big hat helmet kind of thing.
It's cool looking. Very
Really
flattering.
cool. And so he rushes towards her to get it off of her. And she says, witless infidel, you attempt blasphemy. For that you shall die. And then he goes, however, the chosen deems you more precious, or you precious mortal. Thus, instead of being slain, you shall simply be sent away.
Dakgoom! I like the hyphenated one sometimes.
Yes.
It really sells the impact.
So she throws him against the wall as she disappears, kind of floats out of there. And she says as she leaves, forget the female. She no longer exists. If you again interfere in the affairs of immortals, you will die.
By the way, my hat looks better from the front. Pay no mind when I leave and turn my back to you. It looks a little silly.
He looks a little, his little brow looks like the rim of a helmet.
Yeah.
He's silly looking. So he comes to and he's like, whoa, that was stronger than I thought.
Some crummy crown slaps a whammy on my girl. He's got a real lingo in this version.
Yes. He goes, she's gone. Maybe the note I read was a clue. Where? He turns around, the note destructed.
Oh, self-destructing note.
Yep. There's no trace of where she went. Gotta face it. Lost her, maybe for good. No, I can't start thinking like that. There's gotta be some way of finding her. But where does a guy find information about ancient Egypt?
He's going to the Metropolitan Museum of Art.
Wait a minute. It's a long shot.
It's like a Homer Simpson type joke.
Yes, but I gotta try it. Sheesh, there ain't a blasted pool table or catcher's mitt in this whole joint. Now, where's that blamed expert I called?
Why would you expect that? I mean, I know he's a little dumb, but why would you expect there to be like a catcher's mitt at the museum?
So, if you want to read that.
Good heavens, you are more ponderously bestial than I am. I am Lillian Templeworth, Egyptologist and curator of this division of the museum. Keep your distance from the displays. They are exceedingly rare and extremely fragile. Look, lady, we can socialize all you want later. Right now, we gotta rescue my girl before she becomes some kind of bride of Nephris. The what? The bride of Nephris. Without another word, the curator turns on her heel and then, hey, lady, stop. I didn't mean to insult you. You gotta help me. You just gotta. Sheesh, I might have just blown my only chance to save the gal I love, all because of my big mouth. Mr. Grimm, wait. What? You're gonna help me after all? Of course. There was never any doubt about that. We Templeworths have a tradition of assisting anyone in need, even disruptive types such as you so-called superheroes. Tell me, have you seen this headdress before? That's what hat Alicia's wearing. That hat was stolen from our museum by this man. So what? I fear that your Alicia may be in grave danger. That man is Gamal Hassan. Until very recently, he was the museum's chief curator for this division, and I was his assistant. He is brilliant, the foremost expert in his field. And he's mad. He's mad! Lady, I came here to get some info on finding my girl. Instead, I wind up with a fancy runaround. A fancy runaround. Yes. And get some catcher's mitts in here. Quit beating around the bush. Tell me if you know where Alicia might be. Mr. Grimm, I understand your concern, but I'll not tolerate your shouting. All right, alrighty. I'm sorry. Again, I'm worried sick about Alicia. Do you know where she is? Truthfully, no. Probably in Egypt, if I had to guess.
This panel is bizarre.
His little dot eyes.
Then the perspective, she looks like she's going to reach up and pull his pants down.
Pulling his underwear down. I got me a blind sculptress to save, and save her I will, even if I have to look under every grain of sand in the Sahara Desert. Your friend is both blind and an artist? Yeah, so what? I fear a danger exists that not only jeopardizes your Alicia, but the world as well. Spell it out in English, will ya? Hassan seeks a power stone in some Egyptian ruins where he believes his ancestors' home is located. Once he finds the stone, he hopes to achieve divinity. I fear Alicia has become an innocent pawn in a madman's plot.
So, yes. So, we find where Alicia went. She went down by the docks. And, of course, she has to cross the paths of a
night
watchman. And she summons this ancient vessel to pick her up.
Oh, wow.
And he's just like a woman standing on a deserted pier. And then he's like,
Mabel was right. This job's finally getting to me. She's like, you're gonna see a ghost ship if you stay down by those docks.
Meanwhile, look at poor Ben. His
Oh,
pose.
he's got some Swamp Thing slouching going on.
Yes, if what you told me
He's so
about
pathetic looking.
them ruins is right, then Alicia's gonna be there. Indeed, Mr. Grimm. So they figure out where it is that they're gonna go. And on the next panel, we learn about Egypt, a land of ancient heritage and wisdom. Egypt, posed at a crossroad whose path offer nothing but turbulent futures.
Egypt.
Dot, dot, dot. It is in many ways like this man, and Kantu,
yeah.
the living mummy. He was once the proud warrior king of the, and I'm not sure how to say that.
Swahilis, maybe?
Swahili?
Swahilis.
Swahili.
They were a tribe that rode lions and stabbed them in the heart. It was a tradition in their people's culture.
And yet, for all his strength and wisdom, he was helpless before the awesome might of the ancient pharaohs. He was captured by the high priest, Nephris, and specially embalmed.
Not your routine embalmment here. They use pickle juice.
Ooh. He was unable to die, but after 3,000 years of entombment, does he truly live? His cloth-swathed appearance brands him a monster, and everyone he has ever known and loved is long since dead.
I like these flames against the starry sky. That's cool. It's cool how black they make the sky out in Egypt there. I guess there's not a lot of light pollution.
That would be... Some people get really scared.
Not out by the pyramids.
When they're... Because I
it's
know
a hard adjustment if you're used to the city light versus the rural.
Because I remember somebody who lived in town coming out to our house even
in Marquette there's a decent amount of light pollution. I remember my astronomy teacher constantly bringing up how he was bummed out about it.
Yeah.
And how to get really good photographs of the stars. You need to go like out to the wilderness or to the... I think he had photos from like the Southwest. That he showed us on his slides or something. It was a cool class. I found the math part of it hard to perform well on, but I like the more conceptual aspect of it.
Yeah. So, the mummy, he has only himself and one driving ambition: power. The power to live once again as a man or to die, so that his grotesque mockery of life can finally and forever end.
Oh, God.
I don't...
He's like Swamp Thing. He just wants to die. Doesn't Swamp Thing not like being alive?
Yeah, he I am always drawn to these characters.
Self-destructive superheroes.
Yes. The Thing, Hulk, Swamp Thing, Rom, who else?
Self-loathing man. Depressor.
Yes. So it says, at first, the sound is soft, indistinguishable, like the subtle sign of the
northwest wind.
And then Ngantu rises from his reverie, startled by the sight of a procession. So he sees Alicia and the professor coming along.
And it's a good thing he was there.
I know.
What a coincidence. He was brooding in just the right place.
So he starts to follow. And the professor is talking about, pretty much bragging up that, oh, you're going to find what I need just so I can finally have immortality.
So he's like a regular person.
He's a regular person.
She's under like a spell.
Yes.
But he's just being himself.
He's being himself, and he's thinking that he's going to go to the land of his forefathers and gain immortality. Like all humans think they're the one that's going to reap the rewards of whatever they're seeking. But this has a very typical comic book ending.
I really like the rays of the sun behind him. That's a cool panel.
So they come upon this point in the desert that looks like your typical,
Typical encampment out of the desert.
yep, archaeological
Classic
dig.
Bedouin.
Yeah. And so they get there, and he's and tells her to send the slaves away.
Where did they come from?
She summoned them.
They're just like, we're in it for the perks.
Can you imagine having to? Wouldn't you rather walk than ride with these guys walking?
Oh, do they have like hoods on?
Yeah.
I thought they all had the same hair.
No, I think
Why
they're
would
like some
protect
sort
your
of
head of the sun? You got your whole exposed back and front,
and
and your
yeah.
legs.
Yeah. So I don't know what she does to them, but they're gone. She
It
says,
transports them away.
yeah, I obey, my lord. Excellent. You have truly become the servant of the crown of Hathor. And in turn, the mindless mate of he who controls the crown. Great.
Mindless mate, huh?
Yeah.
That's what everybody wants to be.
He throws his arms up. Today, I, Gamal Hassan, shall become a god.
Shall become ... A god!
And we cut to Ben and the lady from the museum, Lillian, was it?
I think so.
And she's read that over there. It's hilarious.
Sorry, sister, but there ain't no way you're getting me wrapped up in that overgrown nightshirt. Overgrown nightshirt. He's so easily embarrassed. It's like, dude, you're a rock monster.
Well, remember that one bad guy wanted to embarrass him. That was the whole.
That's right.
That was the whole issue.
When he was in that movie.
Yes.
Yeah. Honestly, Mr. Grimm, must you be so stubborn? Without some sort of disguise, you are too easily recognizable. Gamal Hassan is sure to have hired spies to spot you. All right, already. You made your point. I just hope the Yancey Streeters never hear about this. How would they? He looks better. He looks more normal. They shall be appraised of your predicament only if you inform them. Good heavens, I thought a traveler of your experience would be used to discomforts of any sort. I can take discomfort, sister, but I don't like risking my ever-loving blue-eyed dignity. The camel's like, sure, buddy. Talk to me about dignity.
Can you imagine with the camels thinking who's going to have to carry him?
Oh, God. Break the camel's back.
I know. It's hilarious. But poor Ben, he's got, his ego is like his Achilles tendon. Probably why that bad guy wanted to embarrass him.
Yeah.
Throw him off.
The camels have like the same exact facial expression, except his eye is a little red.
They're very haughty.
Yeah.
They're But camels, I mean...
Give them distinct personalities. That's what
You know
I say.
what the weirdest thing about camels are, though?
What?
Camel spiders.
Oh, yeah. Don't even bring them up. I hate those things.
Those are nasty.
I thought they would be a spider with humps, but they're just really big spiders.
I know. I thought so, too. So...
If you must be informal, Miss Lillian will do. Now I must negotiate. This man's camel prices are unconscionable. She knows a lot about the regular camel rates. Sister, you may be a stuffy old bat, but I gotta hand it to you. You got spunk. That's like Mary Tyler Moore or whatever.
Yeah, Ed Asner.
Yeah.
And so then the next panel shows this guy who has seen him and
he's a spy.
They're spies, so everybody's like, get him!
Kill the infidels. Ah, rats, and here I thought I was going to get through this without tearing this swanky new bedsheet. Stand back, sister. Please, Grim, my name is Miss Oh, dear. My knife slashed the camel's tethers. He looks pretty cool. Hey, don't you know it ain't polite to point with a knife in your hand? A fella could get hurt. Blap. He's got to be careful not to kill these regular humans.
I know. So they capture her, and she's saying, let me go. And you heard the lady, let go. And gracious Mr. Grimm, your bestial strength does have its uses. So does my shy and retiring personality. He says that a couple times. And they get on the camels. Poor camels.
This camel's like, oh my God.
You go ahead. I'll catch up. And meanwhile, she says, I'm being called. The power within is impatient to be free. He says, go. So she goes into the, looks like a temple. And he goes running out. And while you search, I shall ensure that you are not disturbed. At a glance, this looks like an innocuous archaeological dig. But if anyone expresses more than an idle curiosity, wait, what is this?
He's got cannons built into his...
Yes, he's got these yeah.
It's innocuous looking, but I installed cannons.
But I have cannons, so... But I'll stop them. Ooh, and then we have a Spider-Man game. Looks terrifying.
Whip.
Look at the cup.
Wow. He's got the Hulk purple on.
Can you imagine at one point that was fun and exciting?
I doubt
Look
it was
at
ever
Spider-Man.
fun or exciting.
Oh, my gang of nasties will. Oh, holy Hannah. High voltage
it must be
beams.
for Atari? Is that what it is?
Is it? No. Yeah, Atari Video Computer System. Oh, that's a mouthful.
Well, it's a video action game cartridge.
So, anyway,
Low battery. I'll just close
you see that the rays hit,
Kaboom,
tears
boom,
his little
baroom.
outfit up.
We got a kaboom, a boom, and a baroom.
Baroom. And yeah, his outfits had it. So
Now
they
he's
keep
like-
coming.
His underwear survives.
His underwear.
It rips off the top layer.
Thank the
like-
Lord.
Good thing I got these blast-proof underwear. Dag nabbit.
And I mean that more ways than one.
I figured it wasn't a calling card from the Tooth Fairy.
Oh, he's too much. And we come back and he sees that they're still coming, but that sound.
I almost forgot the mummy was in this one.
Exactly. He goes, who dares interrupt? He goes, Nephros.
Make me a man, Nephros, or die.
A mummy. And it speaks the tongue of ancient Egypt. So you couldn't even make friends with this mummy.
You can't
You
even
know?
speak English?
Yeah. So he's, such a thing is impossible. It must be a trick devised by Miss Templeworth to distract and delay me. And power and Cantu feels its mystic undulations surge through him. So he feels it and he keeps coming. And we see Alicia finding it, the stone of power. So he runs, finds Alicia, sees it, grabs it, and let Gamal Hassan now claim his legacy. Let Gamal become a god. It's a pretty cool panel.
That's very cool.
And
Didn't he say he was going to become a ... god
God,
just a minute
yes,
ago?
he likes to just...
He's like, yeah, I practiced it in front of the mirror.
And then our heroes get to the camp
She's running with a knife.
with a knife out
Hope you
front.
don't trip, buddy. Didn't you just free a camel accidentally doing that? You don't learn anything, but you got a doctorate?
Oh, he's out of the way, Ms. Lil. Handling guys like him is my specialty.
Oh, no, he's going to fight the mummy?
And then Dakum, Nephros lives.
Damn.
He comes out, they start fighting, and he goes, Mister, it's time I give you an education. Lesson 1, ruling the world ain't such a hot proposition. Lesson 2, you hijacked bashful Benji's girl. You get clobbered.
So now Nephros has taken over. His personality is no longer
Yup.
Hassan. He's
It was just a way.
gotcha. For him to get a new body, I guess.
Yep. He goes, Nephros, it truly is you.
Oh, he knows him. He
He
recognizes
goes,
him.
and Cantu, my old foe, I dared not dream of savoring such a triumph. Free me from this living prison, he begs him. Free you, never! You shall be an example to those who arouse my wrath. So Ben clobbers him. He starts fighting back. They keep going. And
I like the way they do his word bubbles here. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And it's probably because he's speaking some
Got like a
sort of...
booming, godlike voice.
Yeah. I shall annihilate you, insolent one. And they keep fighting. And she
Ooh.
pulls a mirror figuring,
Medusa on it.
and it hits him in the eyes, which gives
I wonder if
enough
that would
time.
work on Cyclops.
Well,
Put
it
him
might
in the Hall of
destroy.
Mirrors, just
it would
break
have-
all the glass.
Yeah,
Oh, crap.
that's. Yeah, I wonder if someone's tried it though. And since you will not restore me, I shall steal the stone from your chest and bend it to my will. Miss Masters, can you hear me? She appears to be in a trance, so she takes this electrical cable,
Whoa! That's one
And
way
puts
to wake a person up.
puts it in the power,
Oh, I
that's
see.
surrounding her, and it does knock her out. Oh my, she's 20 feet above ground and falling, so she runs and softens the blow. But she is out of the trance. And a few minutes later, Miss Grimm, Alicia is out of her, or Mr. Grimm, Alicia is out of her trance. Ben, well, what's happening? I'll tell you later, baby. I hear fighting. Your former captor is being thrashed by a living mummy. So you die hard, priest. But that is fitting. Too swift to death would rob me of my righteous revenge.
And his awesome alliteration.
Ben he pulls down this tower to help. At least he,
I can't understand what he's saying. Can't understand what that walking bandage is saying. But from what he's doing, I'd say that he's got a mile-wide grudge against that creep. Maybe he knocked the bozo down, but Bashful Benji will put him out. I was hoping that they wouldn't have to spend too much time fighting each other, that they would realize they have a common enemy.
Yes, yeah, because that happens a lot.
Yeah, you can't do that every single time.
Impetuous fool, no mortal power can stop me. I shall put this battle to an end. And he throws these spears that turn into snakes and grab the mummy and Ben. And they were...
Yow! Snakes. What? Is a snake going to be able to bite him even? Like, what is it?
Yeah,
break
good
its
point.
tooth on his hide.
And, but he says they were not intended to slay you, but only hold you while I drain your life force into me. And he starts to drain the life force. Quickly, Miss Masters, you must stop him. She's like, but I don't know how. What if I fail?
But she has to use that crown. Use your funky hat.
Ben mustn't die, she screamed. And Alicia suddenly falls silent. And it knocks the stone off. And I cannot kill you, evil one, but I shall destroy your source of power. And he falls to the ground. Ben grabs the stone. And before he can even try to save the guy, the stone and Nephris start turning to dust.
Oof.
Ben, I couldn't save him. Love, triumph the others, can easily afford the brief luxury of emotions. But Encantu must ever stand alone. The others belong here. But like the priest who achieved the peace Encantu so desperately wishes he could embrace, Encantu is a part of the past. A past filled with mystery, with glory, with grandeur. A past which is forever dead.
I like that drawing of Ben.
Yes. It's like his little ridge can...
It creates a good shadow sometimes.
Yeah.
That's it, huh?
That's
they
it.
didn't even really
The
get to
mummy-
interact with the mummy. To say that they teamed up,
It's a stretch.
that's like saying when I...
Get it? It's a stretch.
Ah, there
It's
you
an
go.
FF pun.
It's even better when you explain it. That's like saying just being in the same place
It
in
makes
an
you...
unplanned I don't know. I guess, a lot of his encounters are unplanned, but it just doesn't seem like, they can't even really communicate besides visually watching what each other are doing.
Right.
They don't know anything about each other's backstories. I would like a little more personal
Yes.
connection between the characters.
Yes.
But it was still a fun comic.
It was a fun version of Ben.
Yeah, they definitely play up his humor in the Marvel 2-in-1s. We've done several of these. We have a lot of these. I guess you or your mom were really into the Marvel 2-in-1 team-ups.
Yeah, we do have a lot.
Because it's a fun series, because, the Thing is always going to be a fun character if you write him more comedically, and then you get to pair him with whatever flavor you want to go with.
Right.
So he can be on a movie set. He can be in ancient Egypt. Not ancient, but contemporary Egypt. He could be, he could do anything. He'd go to Canada and visit Sasquatch.
Right, he could go to another planet.
You think he'd be tired? He's got all his adventures with the Fantastic Four, and then on his off days, he's doing stuff
Saturday
like this.
and Sunday, he's teaming up.
So if you liked this video, thanks for watching, and make sure you subscribe to our channel. We're really close to getting 50 subscribers, and that's the milestone where we're going to give away a free comic to one of our subscribers. So thanks for watching.